Keep doing the Lord's work.
Thanks, buddy Christ.
Oh. Okay. I think I'm good. Are you good?
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to think of how I'm going to correlate this in. Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 29 of Dudes Watch a Movie video podcast thing that we do. We have decided this month, it's going to be on the 1st. So this month we are watching, I guess for this, the first movie this month that we watched is Constantine.
Proud of you, buddy.
Thanks. It only took me 29 episodes in, and I still can't get it right. So being as we changed up our format the last time, we just kind of rolling with it at this point. And so I chose Constantine because in my mind, it is a comic book movie, right? A movie adaptation of a comic book. I got it right.
It's a graphic novel. Okay.
Sorry, my bad. That being said, it is based off of the comic book Hellblazer, which apparently was going to be the film's title at the time, but it came out too soon, I think either behind or after Hellboy, and so they were kind of worried that ticket sales weren't going to be all that great due to that, so they changed it to Constantine.
Weird.
I know, which, I mean, would you say Hellboy probably did better at the time?
I don't know. I don't like Hellboy either.
Oh, that's too bad. I don't mind it. I like it, but he seems too biker, but that's not what we're here to talk about
today. That's because he's played by Clay.
Yeah, I know. He was also
head of the biker gang, the Sons of Anarchy. Also, it would be way harder to dress up for the occasion for Hellboy than it was for Constantine.
That's true. Speaking of dressing up for the occasion, I also read up, the actual Constantine is a man from London, Britain, that other area, and has an accent. And apparently, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Keanu Reeves and his ability to try and do a British accent in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh, yeah.
It's fucking terrible. No offense, Keanu.
Yeah.
You're a good man, but can't do accents very
no
well.
Way.
Anyway, so yeah, they chose Keanu as a big old blank slate to kind of flesh out his own character on top of adding in bits from the actual graphic novel.
Yeah, that's quite.
With that being said, honestly, we'll start right into the plot really quick. 2 lines right here. Supernatural detective John Constantine helps a policewoman prove her sister's death was not a suicide, but something more. That's it.
Yeah, not a whole lot happens in this movie.
Yeah.
It does have a decent cast, though.
It does. So I'll start from the top. Keanu Reeves as John Constantine. I didn't do my fun ones this time.
Boo.
Sorry, I got lazy
I'll
this
do
time
it for
around.
you. I'll do it for you. Keanu, whoa, Reeves. Rachel, not the girl from Dogma Wise. Shia, what happened? LaBeouf. You got Tilda. Am I a man or a woman? I don't know, but it's 2018, so it doesn't matter. Swinton. Pruitt, Taylor. I honestly hear voices in my head every character I play. Vince. Gavin, I'm pretty sure I'm also a singer, Rossdale. And Peter, I am a nihilist, Starsmore. And Max, I don't know why I was in this movie, Barker. And then Jesse, I don't remember this character, Ramirez.
All right, let me break it down for you real quick. Jesse Ramirez was the scavenger who found the Spear of Destiny.
Okay.
So that's why he was mentioned in there. Max Baker is Beeman, who is John Constantine's friend, basically his supplier of all things supernatural. He's like the weapons. He's like Q to James Bond.
Okay, so it's Max, basically Carl from Van Helsing Baker.
There you go. And then
he even gives him oh my god.
And then you were struggling on Digimon Humson as Papa Midnight, the owner of the Equal Grounds Club.
Yes.
Which I want to talk real quick about.
Papa, not Emeritus Midnight. There we go.
Yes. Some similarities I noticed between John Wick and John Constantine. What?
Should have put the picture of Cass on the table.
Oof.
That's Constantine.
That's so tiny.
That's Constantine.
That's true.
Oh, well.
Do you want to read his quote?
If the pizza man truly cares for this woman, why does he keep slapping her on the rear? It's something like that.
Oh, that being said, back to my segue here. John Constantine, John Wick.
We'll come back to that.
Okay.
I got a whole section. It's literally like
Then I will
a half
wait
of
for
my
that.
notes.
So anyway,
We'll save that for the end.
This film is directed by Francis Lawrence, whom is a music video director.
That makes
I did
sense.
not know that,
That
but
makes a lot of sense.
It does make a lot of sense. But he also directed I Am Legend.
That also makes a lot of sense.
He has a lot of that apocalyptic feel about it.
a lot of making these really long movies that don't really go anywhere kind of feel.
Opinions.
A lot of those, man, this movie's really cool because I'm in like freshman year of high school.
I mean, you're not wrong. It was around 15, 16 when this came out. So, the writers would be Jamie Delano and Garth Ennis, both comic book writers for Hellblazers. So I'm assuming there were a lot of the inspiration. And
Also makes sense.
I mean, yeah, a movie about what they wrote about.
Well, I mean,
Why would they bring in someone else?
They do it a lot.
I wouldn't be surprised, I suppose, at this point.
It makes a lot of sense because that is one of the things that I did like about this movie is as I was watching, I was like, man, if I was reading this on the page, I feel like I would enjoy this a lot more than watching it play out.
And that's why I think some of the movie adaptations of comic books is, I think that maybe with anything that is a book, is you kind of rush the story, you rush the feel, you don't really have a build up. I mean, you kind of do, but you're really stricken to a time span that's not attainable.
Yeah,
in film.
And I can't decide if I like or don't like how they did it, but they start out with Constantine already established, and so it's not like an origin story.
It's like you should know who he is already,
which is nice because that would have been such a long movie if they had to do that too. But it also sucks because you don't understand like what's the deal with the tattoos.
They
how are
dabbled a
those
little
supposed
bit,
to work?
however, on his backstory.
Well, yeah,
They
like
talked
why
about when he was a child and all that.
But like just in terms of his mythos and what he can do, they don't do a whole lot of explaining. It's just like, oh, he just can. He just knows. And they show him making the bullets, and they touch on like the noisy bug thing or whatever. Yeah. But then there's a lot of other things that they just never explain.
True. I'll give you that.
I assume if we'd read the comics, we'd understand what putting the tattoos together does.
Yeah, I feel like that is more of a comic book reference that I don't know what the term is for it. I mix it up every time. Is that like one of those fan things where they're like,
no,
hey, he's got that?
No.
Not fan servicing. That's completely different. That is a different thing.
Yeah.
Altogether.
That's just a straight up reference.
Fair enough.
Or not even reference, just using the material, I guess. Going to the source.
Fair.
Yeah.
So yeah, as we were stating earlier, the Spear of Destiny is in this film, which, by the way, is apparently the same prop that is used in Hellboy, oddly enough.
Weird.
Yeah. And then the Nazi flag that they find the spear is...
Indiana Jones.
They destroyed that immediately after they were done with the film as to not be used by neo-Nazis.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
That's a good call. It was kind of jarring to see that, honestly.
It's just like...
I know the mythos of the Spear of Destiny, but I, for some reason, didn't expect them to be unraveling the spear from a Nazi flag.
Not only that, but it was in Mexico.
Which is strange, because Nazis, I thought they fled to Argentina.
That's another kind of continuity error, is that was supposedly lost in Argentina, like that area.
Yeah.
Not in Mexico.
I mean, I guess it was lost there and ended up in Mexico, but still strange.
So, possibly. Another kind of cool prop thing, that shotgun. Keanu Reeves bought the shotgun and then went ahead and gave it to the director as a gift after the film.
That's pretty cool.
All the more things, like, Keanu Reeves is a totally nice guy.
I shouldn't do that. Apparently that's a Nazi thing now. God damn it.
What's that, finger pointing?
No, the OK sign. Apparently
Since when?
It's a W for white and a P for power, apparently. So go ahead and say something nice about Keanu Reeves again.
Other than this man has a really great acting career, I would say he plays a good part as Constantine. However, he is not, I would say, maybe faithful to the comic book adaptation of who Constantine is. In my mind, I like him as a Constantine character. He's got the gravitas in his voice. Granted, he is cancer-stricken in the lungs. So
sometimes I wonder if you know what gravitas means.
I
It
do know.
It doesn't mean
it
gravelly.
with gusto. It means with like...
It means importance.
Yeah.
He doesn't have any gravitas in his voice.
He does. He says everything with like just straight to the point.
That's
And-
not gravitas.
Well,
He says it gravelly.
fair enough. I
Yeah.
won't argue the point. That's not what we're here for.
Could be.
Because I'm John Constantine. Asshole.
All right, well then I'll be Dean Winchester and I'm just a better version of you. How many times you gone to hell? Because I bet you I've gone more.
I don't know. I will admit though, on a different train here, thought Supernatural, for the first several episodes I watched that, I thought they were just playing the voice, that wasn't his actual voice, that like their characters themselves in that show were just trying to talk like that to sound cool and tough.
Oh, yeah, I see. Yeah, that lower. No, that's just his voice. Yeah.
Which surprised me after a while, but still.
To be fair, Cass puts on a voice.
That's
true. Not his real voice. You saw when he's Jimmy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Jimmy. So yeah, well, we open with Spear Destiny. Goes from there. The dude picks it up, gets smashed by a car, catches you right off the right out of the.
More so, he
get-go.
smashes the car.
That's true.
Yeah.
And also, I don't know what the problem is with this film and cars being silent and then suddenly extraordinarily loud. The car, the bus.
Yeah.
It's you would have heard that coming.
Mm-hmm.
So then we go from there to a exorcism occurring out in a hospital.
I-
Not hospital. It's an apartment. Go ahead.
Can I point something out to you that you'll notice from now on in movies?
No.
Okay.
Is it gonna ruin the film for me?
No, it's just something you'll notice.
All right, continue.
You'll never hear anything unless it's on screen, unless it's supposed to be building some sort of impending, like, tension. So things that should make noise, airplanes, lawnmowers, anything with an engine, you will never hear it until it shows up on screen.
That's fair, I guess. But I mean, I think it just adds for a lot of jump scare. I feel like it's
Yep.
a reason for a jump scare.
Yep. The only time you would ever hear something before it's on screen is like if there's a big thing on the other side of the wall or coming over the hill and you're not, like, they're trying to build a sense of dread, then you'll hear it. But other than that, it's always gonna make the noise once it's on screen.
Crazy.
Yep.
Didn't matter.
Once it leaves screen, you won't hear it anymore either.
Weird.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the bus kind of had a little bit, but I guess it still was in the shot.
Yep.
It was also driving on the wrong side of the road. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, it wasn't
the bus was
left side.
driving.
Well, it could be a one-way street.
It was going against traffic. I mean, it could, but
I don't know.
I don't even know where. L.A. was it? Was that where they were at? I think.
Yes.
I couldn't
Yep.
really tell. But
This, yeah, because they say Los Angeles, and then there's a part where
City
the
of
guy
Fallen
is
Angels.
trying to go to him, and it like pans across Los Angeles like 130 something miles. Yep.
fair enough. Yeah.
City of Angels.
It goes to from that little exorcism scene onward to basically introducing how Keanu Reeves is a exorcism badass and kills things with mirrors and other unknown objects and things.
Yep.
So basically he knows what he's doing, which then turns, we find out later that Isabella is a cop who's, I wrote in here, Isabella, a cop who's good at her job and seems to question it with the use of religion. Why wouldn't you just ride that shit out? If you're a good cop, I mean, just keep being a good cop. But why do you have to go ahead and dig out why you're a good cop?
I don't know.
That's just,
She was written that way.
I guess. But yeah, no. And then the consistency of John trying to buy his way back into heaven. He just starts having little interminglings with his Isabella as if it was destiny. Yeah.
Run into each other in the hospital, and then run into each other at the church. Whatever that place was.
That's what I was wondering, if it was like supposed to be a church bookstore or just a library.
Yeah, I don't know. It was kind of unclear, but there was a father there and an angel.
Also, I counted up, this man smokes at least 12 cigarettes in this film. Mostly accurate. Taking notes, I may have missed one or two. Doesn't seem like a whole lot. I thought maybe there'd be a significance, but certainly not. I tried looking into what,
Not all theories can stick, but you can sure throw them. Don't worry about it.
I can try.
Yeah.
I can fucking
The
try.
only way to find it is to look.
I will admit there's a spot in there where I commented to you, to those Office fans, there's a scene where Isabel is sitting in her, for some reason I don't think it's Isabel. Isabel is the sister who died.
Yeah. You're thinking
Angela. Isabel died. Angela, twins, by the way, which
should have marked one with a pen.
right. Got it.
There it is.
But no, she's sitting in her office. Her phone rings. She picks it up. Her other phone goes off. She picks it up. Another phone goes off. I'm pretty sure she signed up for Whoop.com. Ryan's little business. I want to say one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. I'm not rushing to the end here, but I can you guess what it is?
Lucifer.
No, that was a good scene.
Oh, when they're preparing to go fight.
Yeah.
God damn it.
So basically, when he finally meets up with Max Baxter, who plays B-Man, a friend of John Constantine's with a liking for exotic materials and insects, he serves as both a supplier of holy objects and a relayer of information to John. Mm-hmm. He's basically Blade's old man, grizzly dude. I don't remember his name.
Yeah, just the token, I'm here to give you the information you need, but not really help a whole lot kind of guy, and then die some way throughout the adventure.
Why is that such a sad trope that just keeps happening?
No, well, honestly, that's one of the things I didn't really like a whole lot, because after he dies and Constantine's like, what happened to the rules? He's like, well, they started killing my friends, and it's like, you had one scene with him earlier, calm down.
That's true.
Yeah.
I mean,
didn't really earn it, you know.
They had a pass.
Well, so if we compare Beeman to Chaz, I was way more upset when Chaz died than when Beeman died, because Chaz actually went against what you would expect from his character, who you would think is, actually, now that I think about it, he's pretty much the same character in iRobot, but he's just kind of the trainee schlub who shouldn't know anything, but then he consistently towards the end shows that he hasn't paid attention. He's been doing the research. Why sit on the bench when don't sit on the bench if you're not ready to play. Saves Constantine with that shot, and then they kill him, and it's like, God damn it, and he was doing it, and he finally got the compliment from Constantine.
I feel like they just kill him in a very unjustifiable way. I was expecting not necessarily a blaze of glory, but not something just a
but it was nice though, because it kind of shows the ruthlessness of, technically, was it Gabriel that killed him?
I think so.
Yeah, I was gonna say the ruthlessness of Demon, but I guess of just the supernatural. They don't give a fuck. But then you got Beeman, who he sells some stuff to him, gives him some answers over the phone, and then dies. And the whole time he's like kind of this weird character who lives in the back of a bowling alley. I
think mostly he dies because he decides to bring out the Satanic Bible and go snooping, and then that kind of brings about his demise.
Well, yeah, because it's
because they're looking for Corinthians 17 verse 1.
It was all part of the overarching plan. They planted the Corinthians thing. It was a whole thing. It's again where the story was good, because everything flows and makes sense in that aspect. But I don't know. It's just, I don't know if it's the directing or if it was the acting or what it was, but something like, it's just boring.
Well, that's one thing I when I was reading a little bit extra on there, they said it was supposed to be kind of like a noir film, but noir usually has a counterbalance for the dark and the light. In this one, there's no real light. Yeah. It's just bleak. It's just dark the whole time.
Everything is like gross. His apartment's disgusting. Everyone, like a lot of the characters have like dingy clothes, and it makes sense that he was a music video director,
right?
Because it looks like it should have been like a late 90s, early 2000s alt rock music video,
without a doubt. I wouldn't be surprised if it was included in a music video.
I know how
they snip out little bits of the movie and put it in their videos.
And they're on the other side though, because of his experience in music video, he does do a lot of interesting shots, like a lot of camera moves and twists.
I noticed a few, I wouldn't say unnecessary close-ups, but especially when he goes right into that library, it's just like boom, and then it goes to the guy right across his face, and it's still just like a super close-up.
It was kind of frustrating because there were things like that would just, I think it was just, he's like, I can do these moves and I want to prove that I can direct like this. But then there was a through line of shots that actually progressed the story. So a lot of the shots, especially of Constantine, will be like top down or extremely high angle, and then there will be other times where it's an extremely low angle, which then gets across the idea that he's being watched over or watched by the powers above and below.
Makes sense.
Which I thought that was really nice, because as soon as you see him for the first time, he steps out of the car. Well, I guess he drops the cigarette first, but then he gets out of the car and it's a direct down shot on him. Yeah, no,
I mean, that was one thing, kind of the first things I started learning about camera direction was superiority, and then like don't want to say like weakness, but when you shoot someone from below or above, like where their grounds are, it means a certain hierarchy, I suppose, and the importance of their characters, which is kind of smart.
And that's kind of what the director plays with a little bit too, because like you know now, if you're shooting up at something, they're supposed to be in the position of power, but it was always before he was doing something he didn't want to do that involved going to hell or retrieving an item or something that the demons needed. So it gives you the impression that he is in charge because he's choosing to do it, but it also makes it seem as though they're watching him do it.
Right. Well, that's kind of like when he was drowning. What's her face?
Yeah.
Audrey, Angela. I'm never gonna get it right. I gotta think of the Office. There you go. Anyway, I would like to delve into this club. It didn't really have a name, but it's a club of equal grounds where half-breeds can intermingle. And maybe it's because you have to be a half-breed in order to tell it, but that whole entry where you have to figure out what's on the card.
I'm pretty sure they were just looking at the reflection in the mirror, dude.
I mean, I thought that too after I realized Shia LaBeouf was standing behind the bouncer after he got kicked.
I assume the half-breeds can see it, but Constantine's just smart enough to actually just look in the fucking mirror.
Which I thought was kind of brilliant, but I thought it was an interesting way to try and get into the club is what does the card have on it?
It could also be because him and Angela, like, they're the type that can like see things, so maybe they're able to also see it. I don't know, but I was under the assumption that there's reflective surfaces directly behind him.
Yeah, I agree. He's clever. He's clever like that. After that, I thought it was an interesting way to show these half-breeds as having that little reflection in your eyes.
Yep, that was cool.
Also, like they're replicants, perhaps.
And like some of them would be different color tints too. Some of them like more of an amber color. Others were red. It was kind of nice.
Is that like, would you say that's a special contact lens, or is that an actual like effect? Because I've noticed you could do that with people who have like, if you ever get a laser eye surgery, it happens naturally in people's eyes. It's weird. Yeah.
I would assume for the purpose of this movie, it's probably a special effect, because that's one of the negatives of this movie. Is it was at the time where special effects were starting to get really, really useful, but not quite to where it needed to be for this movie in particular.
Look good.
Like, certain scenes just kind of seem off, like when she's on the rooftop and her bracelet's like floating around, like she doesn't seem like she's really there, or when he goes to hell, everything's kind of weird. But in hell it makes sense because it would be hard to visualize that anyways. I feel like that would be something that they would nail a bit better now.
Speaking of a whole hell concept, why in a lot of movies when depicting either the devil or a god, there's always an actor who will play a devil, but they never really do an actor or actress necessarily for God, excluding Dogma.
Yeah. It's probably...
Maybe, I guess, Bruce Almighty, but...
I would assume it's just due to the history of the devil being portrayed. Because usually it's him interacting directly with people in the form of some vessel. Versus usually when people say that they spoke to God, it was just they heard a voice in their brain. So I guess there's never like a kickoff point for this.
There's
your
no
stereotypical
physical embodiment.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I suppose
angels you'll always see in some form of physical version because they were like depicted in the Bible anyways, like talking face to face with people and things like that. But I don't know.
I will say though, as the devil, Peter Stormare, I do like him as that character. He plays it. He just has just the right amount of creepiness to him.
It's the eyebrows.
And just the kind of right amount of crazy as well. I do like his get up of a white suit, but there's like the oily, nasty feet.
Yeah.
That was a good depiction.
Yeah. And it's that same like residue that's on the Bible as well. The one from hell.
All sticky and gross.
Yep. John's kind of a moaner in this though, I tell you what. Like the first half of this movie is just him being like, "Oh, woe is me."
I guess I never noticed him moaning at all.
Yeah, he's just.
I mean, I know he's got a lot of like about him because the man's got
not literally moaning, but he's just a bitch. He's a bitcher.
Well, the man's got a lungs full of cancer, and he's already known he's.
That's fine,
he's
but
bleak
God,
because he knows he's already going to hell. So it's like fucking. What's the point?
There's a difference between being bleak and just being a bitch. Okay. He's just like, have I not proven myself? Yeah, he's like Dean levels of being a bitch right now.
I mean, you can't tell me Drevin wasn't that way.
No, he was less of a moaner and more of a, I I don't want to say whiner, but emo is probably the best word I can put on it. He was a brooder like Batman. He was a sulker.
I suppose.
Yeah. It was less complaining, more just being angsty. Yeah.
I guess he was on a revenge spree.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, like halfway through, I guess it would be after he saves Angela out in the street is probably where they flip the switch and he stops bitching about everything. But for the first half, it's like, I love you, Keanu, but I really fucking hate you right now.
Honestly, I'm kind of glad when I saw this for the first time I hadn't read the comics. I've heard a lot of people who have read it, they didn't appreciate the movie, which is understandable. That's kind of the same for the people who saw Harry Potter. It wasn't as good as the book.
Everyone loved Harry Potter.
I mean, I love Harry Potter, but I'm just saying, like, when they're like, it's not as good as the book, and then they have that little bit of extra hesitation.
I've never understood the it's not as good as the book argument. Like, there's a lot of times where it is as good as the book. It's not as in-depth as the book, but it doesn't mean it's not a good story. They still maintain a lot of the key aspects. But they're like, but what about the part in the book where Harry talks to Ron in the bathroom about how they're going to pass their tests? It's like, maybe that wasn't necessary for the movie. I don't know.
I mean,
don't get me started.
You're not wrong.
Don't get me fucking started.
Also, Balthazar.
Balthazar.
He's a half-breed demon with a special penchant for and personal history with John Constantine. Why are a lot of demons typically depicted as looking like big corporate high bigwigs?
Because the idea that greed is evil.
I know, but I mean, like, they always have to be like super nice suits. I mean, we'll have to emphasize on that part, but why can't they just be like, I mean, gluttony's evil. You don't see any super fat demons.
The idea, though, is that the demons are trying to take over, and the way to take over is to gain power in society, and the way to gain power in society is to have money. So they're either going to be high-level businessmen or politicians or someone who's got some form of sway over the rest of the population.
I mean, why do you have to look like it, though, instead of just doing it?
Because you can't just do it and not look like it.
For a film aspect, I do understand.
Yeah, it's not even that. It's just the idea that it would be really hard to be voted on as a politician if you look like a schlub. Like the idea is that you're using people's judgment and you're twisting it to they see you as a handsome dude who looks like his shit's all together, but behind the facade you're like a disgusting demon who's just trying to take everything.
Well, I mean, I guess that's fair.
That's why you don't see mongoloids winning any elections. It's always like some fucking dude who looks like...
Have you seen Arnold Schwarzenegger now?
Now, yeah, but what he used to look like, he used to be a handsome man.
But when he was running?
No, it doesn't matter. Everyone's got the previous memories of being handsome.
He did a good job, but
yeah, he's a manly man.
Your muscles are weighing on you. Your skin's just not catching up, my dude.
He's getting that Hulk Hogan skin.
I just imagine really tan and really greasy.
Like what you used to say? An old hot dog.
Old shriveled up hot dog.
Yeah.
So I was also trying to correlate how some of them died in relation to, I guess, what they loved, especially Hennessy. I don't know if it's Hennessy. Maybe it is Hennessy. Yeah, Father Hennessy. He dies by... Weird that his name was Hennessy. Right. He's addicted to drinking. He dies by... they said he drank himself to death, and yet during that whole entire time he couldn't drink at all. But when he dies, he's literally overflowing with what I would assume be alcohol.
Yeah. What was the devil? Balthazar, was that the devil that was there? Or the demon? He was twisting his perception, so he wasn't thinking that he was getting any alcohol, but in reality it was all going
just
through.
Chugging it. That makes sense.
Because he kept smashing the bottles, and you could see it pouring and things like that.
And then B-Man dying of all the I was going to say pestilence, but that's essentially what it was. All the bugs, the things that he loved.
Yep.
Which is a shame. What a way to go.
He just likes him. Weirdo.
I think the one thing that kind of confused me is that first bug demon he encounters in the streets. Like, there was nothing else that was kind of like that at all. Everything else just happened to be the off the top of the head soldiers.
Kind of stands out weirdly.
It was there, and then nothing else that significant ever really pops in.
And it's another one of those situations where it just the design of that character is not great. It's very Men in Black.
Oh yeah, actually, that's a really good way to put it.
Yeah.
God, that film had some really.
What was
weird
this movie
aliens.
rated? Was this movie R? Okay, I was wondering.
Yep,
I
rated
feel like
R.
they could have pushed the R rating a bit more.
They could have. He didn't do a lot of swearing, but I mean that's okay.
Yeah.
He said asshole a few times, gave him the middle finger. I guess there was
Gabriel
some
said you're
violence,
fucked at one point,
but
but
that is true.
I just feel like there's certain
So
things where
peaceful, too.
I feel like I don't know, the movie kind of called for some more curse words in this one. He's like, move the damn car. It's like, move the fucking car.
There you
Would have
go.
made more sense because he's about to do something really risky.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He moved it. Not
That
quite
first
far
scene,
enough.
that first scene was really good. And then the end scene was really good. But everything in between, I was just kind of lulls.
Yeah, I'll agree with you on that one. I do like the end scene most importantly, or like most, just because of how it kind of like culminates together, and it also brings out John's like cleverness against the higher powers.
Yep.
Which to me wouldn't necessarily make sense, because if you think a higher power would always know kind of the next step anyway.
We're playing checkers and they're playing chess.
Basically, yeah.
This movie also tries to be like scary and weird,
Yeah.
but it never really is.
No, it's not even labeled as a horror. It's an action drama fantasy.
Yeah, I guess.
Drama, I suppose, but I will admit I was happy he did not kiss Angela at the end, because that would
Yeah.
have been one of those Fifth Element endings.
I was
that's
thinking the
just
same
like,
thing. I was thinking the same thing. Like she kept like every time he'd lean in to put the necklace on or pull out the Spear of Destiny. The Spear of Destiny, she straight up like started going for it.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end when they didn't do it, I was like, good, because
Right.
that relationship would have ended horribly. You can't start a relationship based on traumatic events.
That's the other thing too that I've read, and I believe it's Injustice. John Constantine's character never wants to have any sort of partners, because everyone he's ever had around him always dies,
Yeah.
and so he's always pushing everybody away. But no, I think the not kissing part, there's two scenes in there where he could have done it, but he doesn't, because obviously he doesn't want to or really care at that moment.
Yep.
And then that ending, I feel like it was her way of getting back at him. They're like, oh, hey, now you'd like to see me. Well, no, just kidding. He just walks away. All right. Can we talk about this club now? Because I'd really like to hear what you have all about it.
Okay, so I've got a theory.
I'm listening, because it might be the same theory I have.
The John Wick Constantine theory,
Yeah.
where they're the same person.
Yeah.
Yeah. So both these movies start with character well established in the world. Both are named John. Both are hitmen, if you think about it. One is a hired hitman, the other one hits demons.
Supernatural.
Yep.
Which one came first, do you say? Would you say, though?
This, don't worry about it. I'll go over it.
Okay.
Both do business on neutral ground. Constantine does it at the witch doctor's place. Wick does it at the Continental. For some reason, both movies have a scene with the Johns in a club with strobe lights.
Yeah.
Both wear a suit and tie, and both almost die at the end, but don't.
Mm-hmm.
I think John Wick is John Constantine in this universe, and the reason he was able to do all those hits and become the Baba Yaga is because he had the backing of one of the demons, who is the Russian guy, and John Wick, and that's why he works for him, because he tried to go to heaven, devil pulled out his cancer, now he was living, did something to fuck up getting back into heaven, then he had to make another deal with the demon, and that demon was like, all right, I will fix this or that. In return, you must kill all these people. You do enough, and your soul is yours back. He does that. He gets out. Then Demon's offspring is like, oh, fuck this guy. And that's why Baba Yaga, or not him, the other guy, is so worried about John Wick coming after him, because he's seen what John Constantine can do and knows that now he is fucked.
Deep.
Yeah.
I'd say drop the mic, but these are currently expensive, and that'll have to do. No, that's actually kind of where I was going from it. I was trying to decide, though, in my head where it would fit, where John Constantine was either first or John Wick was first, because I'd like to think if maybe as John Wick, he finished killing all his contracts, he's kind of bored, has nothing else to do, and decides, let me dabble into some supernatural and start killing demons
Goes the
instead.
other way.
Exactly.
The only real reason I went the other direction was because this movie came first and he's older than John Wick.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yep.
I did. Speaking of older John Wick, older Keanu Reeves. I'm curious to see what an old Keanu Reeves is. I'm not in a hurry to, because that man, he's a good man. I'm not looking forward to him getting super old like a lot of these other actors. But I mean, I'm curious to see what he looked like, because this man does not age.
Nope.
At all. He might get a few
vampire.
gray beard hairs, but is there any I want to say theories, but conspiracies that he's a replacement?
There's a somewhat joke related theory that he's a vampire, because there's a picture of someone in like the early 1900s or something like that looks like a young Keanu Reeves.
Oh, weird.
Yep.
I do. I notice he likes to play in a lot of devil movies. Maybe not devil movies, but I mean like he. Okay, maybe I'm only thinking of the two, but
What's the other one?
the not the Devil's Advocate, but the one where he's a lawyer.
No.
I'll look it up.
Wait, he played a lawyer? Someone let him play a lawyer?
Also, I didn't have any cool figures or anything, but I don't know if you saw that. I found my
Little
found my
Matrix
Neo.
looking one, yeah.
Oh.
While you're looking that up, I'm going to start going into some of the wrap-up stuff here, because I feel like we've covered the
Most
gist of
the
everything, yeah. My what the fuck moment was that bug demon thing.
Devil's Advocate in 1997.
I thought that was Pacino, or is it him and
Pacino
Pacino?
is in there as well.
Okay.
It's both
Weird.
of them.
Weird. He does do a lot of supernatural stuff, though, between that and Dracula, and yeah. Interesting.
Anyway, continue.
It was just a bug demon. Didn't make sense. Well, I mean, it makes sense, but it didn't fit in with the rest of the tone of the movie and the look and the style. I feel like that's one of those ones where they were like, oh yeah, we'll CG it and it'll look real cool, but they just didn't quite nail it. And then at the end, he's just smashing like bugs on the freeway.
So that's your what the fuck moment?
Yeah.
I didn't really write mine down like I usually should and start doing. So if I'm going to come with one off the fly, the one part that legitimately had me go what the fuck was when I first initially watched it, not having known basically the whole self-sacrifice concept. I was kind of curious why he decided to kill himself. He's had all this stuff going for him, and then he's just like, meh, let me slice my wrists. And then it's just like, what?
Well, yeah, it was.
I mean, I've seen him zap himself a couple times. And I mean, stare into a cat's eyes, which I don't quite understand that yet, but I don't know.
It was, I mean, the idea was to bring Lucifer there to be like, hey, because at that point, when you have angels and demons conspiring to do something together, at least just from my other delving into these kind of like medias, usually the top guys on each side are like, whoa, what? Huh? Stop. And so as soon as he slices his wrist, I'm like, okay, so he's going to go make the deal with
He's pulling a what the
Lucifer.
fuck moment for them.
Yeah. I have an issue with that, though. Super good idea, and it totally works, but then it irritates me that when he's going to finally take his soul and like God shines his light and all that shit, he's like, the sacrifice. I'm like, no shit, you don't have to spell it out for us,
He
man.
just kind of forgot.
They planted
They had
that.
to, like-
Yeah, they talked about that in the beginning. Like, he's like, how can I get? He's like, you gotta self-sacrifice or something like that. And it'll probably be important. Keep it in the back of your mind. And then he like blatantly comes out and says, "Oh yeah, that's what's happening right now."
In case you guys didn't know watching the film,
Yeah.
which I mean at the time, yeah, I didn't, but I'm not a very avid movie watcher. Also, I want to off train on something real quick. Why is it always in a lot of films like this? Why is it angels and demons always making deals? Why is there always some sort of trope where it's like making bargains with human souls?
Because it's the only currency they have.
But I mean, why does it have to be deals? Why isn't it just always good triumphs evil? Why don't just, conquer instead of let's make some deals?
It's a more interesting story, I guess. There's more like twists and turns and backstabs and surprises you can do if there's deals at play and then people are in position of power.
But it doesn't seem very higher power, like angelic, like to make deals with said devils and demons.
Well, yeah, but that's because in movies they generally, if it is all higher power, then it's kind of like the fate versus choice situation where why are we watching this if it's all fate anyways? They want the characters to have the power to make their own decisions, and if that's going to pertain to the human characters, it's also going to stretch out to the rest of them. And I mean, that's the question of this type of media is like, does God really is everything his doing? Is it all part of a plan, or is he just
a kid with an ant farm?
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Fair enough. Anyway, we'll continue on to the next topic.
Favorite scene?
Favorite scene. Okay, I'm not going to go with what you thought, but I am going to go with the first thought you thought.
Yeah, that was my favorite scene.
So yeah, no, the part where I'm going to not know his character's name because he has a weird last name. Peter Stormare. His character as the devil. Like I said, it's a really good depiction. I do enjoy his ever so strong drive at trying to attain John Constantine's soul. That from the sound of the way he said, he's tricked the devil multiple times because he tried to tell him what was going on in the other room, and he's like, is this another one of your clever little cons?
Yep.
Like, they have a history, which I thought was kind of funny. I would like to see that history on film, but it ain't gonna happen.
There's a TV show about Constantine. Just throwing that out.
About him?
Yep.
What?
Not this Constantine, but there's a Constantine TV show.
It's what? Is it just called Constantine?
Yeah, it's Constantine.
I guess I've never seen it.
Yeah,
I
it's
just thought you were
recent.
talking about, because doesn't he appear in some of the
The animated movies, yeah.
not animated movies, the Netflix ones and such? No. Not Wrong Universe, because he's DC. Okay, I didn't know if he was actually part of one or the other, because I mean I did read him in DC Comics, but
Yep.
I didn't realize he was focused on that, because I know they like to jump sometimes.
No.
Very rarely.
Super rare. They
That's
did
what
like
I'm saying.
one maybe crossover with DC and Marvel.
That's what I'm saying. Just that one. You know?
Just the one.
Continue. Your favorite scene?
The same one.
Oh.
When Satan shows up.
No particular reason other than just you like it?
I like the thought process of watching it all play out. When he's laying there, he's like, well, this is not good. There's only one last move I've got left. I kind of do wish they would have showed how he killed himself the first time, because it would have been nice if that was like the same way.
They just said he tried, but
Yeah, like if they'd shown his wrist or something, because then it's like he knows this is the proper way to get the result he's wanting. But just the way like the goop starts dropping, and his feet come in, and you see him in the suit with the bare foot, no eyebrows for some reason. And then he's just so happy. He's like, you're the only person that I would come up here to actually personally take.
I did like how he gave John life to then try and condemn himself once again. Instead of having him actually go and die from that cancer during that scene of him killing himself, he's like, let me remove this from you and let you try and fuck yourself over again, because I feel like I know you're going to. Prove your worth.
Prove you're not worthy.
Right.
Yeah. And I like how he's like, you can see that he just immediately wants to do it, but he's like restraining himself, so he like touches him with his foot a little bit, and he gets real close and just barely gives him a tap on the cheek with his tongue. Like he wants it so bad, but he's like, I guess I should see what's going on here.
I have to abide by the rules.
Yeah.
Which is weird to me.
And I do like how happy he is. He gets the little tippy taps going and claps his hands a little bit.
I was hoping when he was leaving that you'd hear his feet pitter patter.
And then, I mean, afterwards it just gets better because he goes into the other room finally. Goes to another one of those like music video scenes where the glass is frozen in space and it's bouncing off him as he walks all cool like. But he fucks up Gabriel, sends his son back to hell. It was good. I liked it.
I would like to reel it back for a moment for my what the fuck moment. I did write something. Towards the very end, when she was asking him to kill her, why does she then slump back into the water? If she's mortal, it's not like she's going anywhere, because they're walking away. She just gets punched in the face, steps out, and then I would expect maybe to turn and leave, but she then just decides to slump back into the pool.
What else are you gonna do?
I mean, but why?
I don't know.
Why not just turn off and leave the camera set?
She's got nothing else to do.
I just to me, I was just like, why is she doing that? Is she just gonna go back into the water and vanish, or what was the deal? But
I don't know. Maybe
she
she
got
gonna
her
drown
wings taken
herself.
away.
I don't know.
But then you don't go to hell because you killed yourself.
I don't know.
Anyway,
She's
that's my
enjoying
what the
her
fuck moment.
her new humanity. She's like, this is what water feels like. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, after those fire alarms end and the cops finally go up there, and like they're gonna find this androgynous person with these weird things on her back.
They're gonna find a lot of empty clothes with a lot of dust everywhere.
Yeah. Who's your MVP?
I had a toss up between Keanu and Peter, honestly.
Who had you running from your life? Brandishing a knife.
Shia LaBeouf.
Hiding in the shadows.
I assume that's your favorite character.
No, I did enjoy seeing him.
He was very young.
He was
2005. Before he went fucking insane.
Yeah, because I feel like Transformers, the first one was like, what, probably 2007?
Yeah, sounds about right. But I'm going to give it to Keanu strictly because of, I mean, he's like the Nicolas Cage of acting.
Isn't Nicolas Cage the Nicolas Cage of acting?
I mean, yeah. But I mean, Keanu Reeves does well, but at the same time, he doesn't. Like, the characters he's meant to play was almost written for him, but if it's a character that he's not used to playing, he butchers the fuck out of it.
It's got to be a good fit for him.
It does. He has to play a specific type of role, and when he does it well, it's always the same type of character. It's never that something too outlandish or crazy. Kind of like when you see Will Ferrell play anything other than anything funny. I don't know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's Stranger Than Fiction, but there's another movie he plays where it's more serious than it is lighthearted and funny, and so it just doesn't feel right. So with Keanu, if he plays that right character, he does it well. Other than that, not so much. But, you know, he doesn't have a lot of versatility, but when he gets the part, he crushes it. So hats off to you, Mr. Reeves.
Yeah, and he seems to every so often make not even just a good movie, but like an iconic movie. Like, you could, I guess you can debate whether Bill and Ted is iconic, but I consider it to be. Then you got, after that a little bit, he had some Point Break. It might have been before Point Break, I'm not sure.
I've never actually seen that movie.
But that's like one of those, like, you gotta see action movies. And then after that, a couple years later, it goes to The Matrix. A couple years after that, John Wick. Another one of those action
good
movies.
ones.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he's done things in between those, but like, there's multiple points throughout his career where it's like, this is one of those you gotta go see this movies, you know?
Yeah. There's a few in there that I've never really heard of. Destination Wedding, obviously, because it's new. Knock Knock, I own, and I watched it, and it just, I don't feel like he did the best for being in that part.
And he's never really like.
Speed. I forgot him in that movie.
Advocate. I almost forgot it, even though we just talked about it. But he always does movies where it's like, I guess not always, but he does. By the Lake. He's got movies where they're not the best, but they're also not the worst.
Yeah.
House by the Lake, and like he went through his like romantic phase or whatever. But I don't know. I think he's pretty solid all. Like,
Walk in the Clouds.
Around.
Was this a cowboy Keanu? Interesting.
Yeah.
I forgot he was in The Replacements.
There you go.
Oof. He does have a broad range, but some of them are just not that great.
Yep.
Anywho, what's next?
Oh, my MVP was Lucifer.
Lucifer? Yeah.
Yeah. I like Peter Stormare.
Is that just a... I just really want to delve into why people shave off their eyebrows for that evil look.
It's unsettling.
It is.
Yeah.
It's just... Like when they take Angela's character, when she gets possessed, her eyebrows disappear, but when she comes back, they're there again.
It takes away, like, a lot of your emotion comes from your eyebrow, like where they're pointing and things like that. And so if there's absolutely nothing there to display it, and like his skin's almost
uncanny
smooth.
valley.
Yeah. But I always like him in everything I've ever seen him in. He was good in this. He's good in Fargo. He's good in Big Lebowski. He's good in what's that game? Until Dawn. He's your psychiatrist in that.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I'm kind of curious what else. Oh, yeah. He's in John Wick.
Is he?
Because isn't he the Russian guy who's telling him about
Stop it. Is he? Go to it. Do it.
No fucking way.
I think it's someone else.
It could be.
He looks very similar with that.
He's in John Wick 2.
Okay, but not John Wick 1, right? He can't be in John Wick 1 and be in 2 because he dies in John Wick 1 if it's him. Yeah. That's just another connection, Tom.
God, it's insane.
Yeah.
Whew. Is there a 7 levels to Keanu Reeves?
Probably not. Cool.
Is there anything else?
No, I think we've broken ground and we discussed things and
made some connections.
And now that's it. Yeah. Who is he in John Wick 2?
Oh, no.
It won't matter. I only saw it the one time. I'm not going to remember if you pull it up, honestly.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Wikipedia. What a site. Ooh.
Mustache. Weird.
Decided to grow one of those up. How old is he? 65 years old.
Damn.
Interesting. But yeah. Anyway, that has been our episode 28, I think is it? Yes, 29. I said 29. That being said, do you know what you're going to pick?
No.
Not yet?
No. I got some ideas, though. This one gives a lot of work, or a lot to work off of.
Yeah, it's not as blank, I suppose.
I'm tempted to do another Keanu movie. Actor-wise, other than Peter Stormare, there's not really any other actor that was in that movie. Maybe Shia LaBeouf, but I don't really want to watch a Transformers movie or any Shia LaBeouf movie. We already watched Fury that one time. I don't know.
Yeah, we did.
Ooh, I might have one, though. Never mind.
Yeah?
Yep.
So yeah, I know. He's the guy that talks about the pencil. Killing a man with a pencil, just like the Joker. Heath Ledger, hey, ho, ho, ho. Anyway, that has been Dudes Watch a Movie. Thank you for sticking around. We'll see you on the 15th. Have a good night or day.